Good morning. I'm Brian Martin, and every Sunday morning, well, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, every Sunday morning I present the gospel lesson for the week. And this week is the seventh Sunday of Easter. You didn't know there were 7 Sundays in Easter, did you? And the gospel lesson for today is a really powerful uh, presentation. It's Jesus praying for his disciples. And it's a wonderful prayer. And the question that I always want to ask is, what was Jesus thinking? Because it informs the way that we want to be structuring and controlling our own thoughts. Yes, you have control over your thoughts. Most people aren't even aware what a thought is. But we do. We have a tremendous amount of control over what we think. And wouldn't you love to have your thinking process ruled by nothing other than just pure love? I mean, wouldn't that just be the greatest way to view the world? Well, these gospel lessons give us insights into the way that Jesus was thinking and help us to be loving people. So let's get right into it. It's John chapter 17, verses 1 through 11. Are you ready? Here we go. After Jesus had spoken these words, all right, stop right there. After is a time stamp. And it's really helpful for us to look and to see what came before. And what came before this was John 13, 14, 15, and 16, which is the discourse about concerning the Last Supper that Jesus had with his disciples. Jesus, knowing that his time on earth was coming to an end, wanted to empower his disciples to continue to live beyond his experience on earth. And so he speaks these things. Now, Jesus is all done, and when he finishes this discourse, he finishes with a prayer. Isn't that just delightful? All right, so here is the prayer. He looked up to heaven and said, now please notice the posture of Jesus praying. Jesus did not close his eyes and bow his head. I just think that's a phenomenal observation. What Jesus did was he opened his eyes and he looked up into heaven. That's an insightful bit of information about our own prayer life. Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son so that the Son may glorify you, since you have given him authority over all people, to give eternal life to all whom you have given him. Okay, so now he's going to be talking for a moment about eternal life. Now, this is not what you might have been thinking about what eternal life was or is. But listen to this. And this is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. So that's interesting. It's the knowledge of God, or the knowledge of what is the most important thing in the world now, not just reserved for after this life, but it's eternal life is now. He goes on, I glorified you on earth by finishing the work that you gave me to do. Verse 5, so now, Father, glorify me in your own presence with the glory that I had in your presence before the world existed. He goes on, I have made your name known to these whom you gave me from the world. They were yours, and you gave them to me, and they have kept your word. Now, they know that everything that you have given me is from you. For the words that you gave me, I have given them. It's really important to Jesus that these words are repeated. He was given them and he gave them, and he's entrusting them for us to give them to others also. It goes on. And they have received them and know in truth that I came from you, and they have believed that you have sent me. I am asking on their behalf. Now, isn't that interesting? Jesus' prayer is a petition on our behalf, on their behalf, on the disciples' behalf. I'm not asking on behalf of the world, but on behalf of those whom you gave me, because they are yours. All is mine, and yours are mine. Let me read that again. All mine are yours, and yours are mine, and I have been glorified in them. And I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world, and I am coming to you. Now listen to this. Holy Father, protect them in your name that you have given me, so that they may be one, just as we are one. And that is the end of the gospel lesson reading. And you can see here what the intention of Jesus is. Let's step back for a moment. Who in his mind does he believe that he really is? In other words, what is his identity in the world? What is it about him that made him who he was? Well, as you read the New Testament and you read the stories about him, it's very clear that Jesus has a unique purpose and a unique identity. He sees himself as Son of God. He sees himself as something unique. He has unique gifts and skills and talents and tools in his life, and he's tuned into them, and they are given to him just like you have gifts and skills and talents and tools that were given to you. Part of what was given to him, as we read, are the words. The words were given to him, the words that he spoke, the words that came from him and touched other people's lives. Words are some of the most powerful entities in the universe. They can change someone's life. Your words can have an impact on people. But what's more important than all of that in this particular passage is this wonderful idea of being one. Now, what does that mean? What does this unity mean for our lives? It means this, that you and I, when we're connected with love, God is love. When we're connected by love, we tap in to the abundance of the universe. Every good thing comes in us and through us as a gift. And you and I are uniquely empowered to make a fundamental difference in people's lives. Let's begin with one person, though, first. Let's begin with you and your life. What is your unique identity in the world? Now, Jesus knew his. Do you know yours? I know what yours is, and I will tell you now. You have many wonderful aspects of your identity. You may be a father, you may be a mother, you may be a doctor, you may be a pastor, you may be a worker. But those are just facets. Those are just reflections of who you are. Deep in the core of who you are as a human being, you and every one of you is that you are a loving, kind person. And that is your unique identity in the universe. Now, I know this is true because the very fact that you are alive in the world today defies all the odds. Your existence is what I call a freaking miracle of astronomical proportions. Your life is so unique. Now you're going to say, wait a minute. How can my life be unique when there are billions and billions of us on the earth? And to that I say, isn't that even a greater miracle that there are billions of unique miracles on the earth? That just blows my mind when I think about that. But that also means that there's some responsibility because we have this gift. It was given to us. It's resident inside of us. It's the gift of love. You see, the pool from which you emerged into the world was a pool of love. People have parents who lovingly care for them. And it's in that cradle of love that you were formed and shaped and came into being. And your existence defies all odds. Now you may say, well, my parents weren't that good, or my parents abandoned me, or my parents did this. And you know what? That happens. By and large, most people are loved from birth. In fact, many children who don't have their natural parents were loved by others. And I bet that if you take a look at your life, you're going to be able to see and to remember dozens, maybe even more people who loved you and cared for you and thought that you were valuable and recognized the gift that's inside of you. This is true. You have the gift of love inside of you. It's your unique and wonderful gift. And you can use loving words to help people in their lives, to encourage them, to inspire them, to give them hope, to help them see that their world is much more than what they ever thought it could be. That the limits that have been imposed upon them are just that, imposed limits. But they have virtually limitless access to wonderful things, greater and beyond anything that we can think of or imagine. One of the beautiful things that human beings have is this wonderful imagination and a fantasy, where we can conceive of things in the future that don't even exist yet. We can conceive of a building that needs to be built, and then we can create it from nothing. But you know, there's something even more powerful than that. It's simply the knowledge that our future is greater than we can possibly think of or imagine. It's just beyond our imagination. And if we have limited, imposed thinking upon us, it keeps us from experiencing the possibility of an unimaginable future. Gosh, that's a tragedy. Jesus did not want that for his disciples. And so he introduced them to the ultimate power of the universe that was inside of them and that was going to be there for them, that they could draw upon and that they could use. Take a quick inventory of your life. How's it going? Do you feel limited? Do you feel held down? I bet you do in many ways. But you know what? I can imagine something greater. Something greater than the disciples ever imagined. Something greater that's beyond what you're capable of thinking. That's just around the corner. Now, you were not expecting the COVID-19 experience. It just came out of nowhere. And look what it's done. We had no idea that it was going to have such an effect on us. Now, you have no idea about the beautiful thing that awaits you just around the corner. Jesus did. Jesus was knowledgeable about the fact that there was something greater than anybody could ever understand or comprehend. And that was one of the beautiful things that he left us. And that's the way he thought about the world. And I'm inviting you today to take Jesus' way of thinking and to make it your own. Experience the limitless nature of love and let it grow in your heart and your mind so that all of the limitations that have been put upon you can be lifted and you can experience a limitless life greater than you ever imagined, not just for your own welfare and well-being, although what a great way to experience life, but for the ultimate purpose that you can share your love. First with yourself, and then with the people around you. And then let that ripple out, the ripple effect, like the stone thrown into the still pond. And it continues to ripple out and ripple out and ripple out, so that beyond you, beyond your remembrance, beyond anybody can think of, a wonderful and a beautiful thing results as the result of your expression of limitless love. How do you like that? God bless you. My name is Brian Martin, and every Sunday at this time I read the gospel lesson. Well, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Every once in a while the creek rises, right? I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for being with me today, and leave a comment if you like. Bye-bye.